Hello and welcome back to my series where I read aloud my original novel, Nature's Culling. So far I have read chapters 1, 2, 3 and 4 out loud, and in this video I'm going to read chapter 5. Chapter 5 is the action plot point in the 27 chapter method, but without further ado, let's go into the story. She swears under her breath, panting, "Damn chicken. Come here," she says to no one. Definitely not to the chicken. It's quite indifferent to her curses and verbal encouragement for it to stop fleeing from her. Penny could go and get Kenny and have him help her catch the chicken, but no, she doesn't want to bother him, and besides, this is her responsibility. She takes care of the chickens and pigs, and he takes care of the cattle and horses. That's the deal. If only the damn chicken hadn't escaped in the first place. She sighs and follows the chicken around the corner of the house. While following the chicken, waiting and hoping to catch it by surprise, she does her best to avoid looking at the house. It's only been 2 weeks since Walt died and Melody left, and that house is a constant reminder that they are no longer at the ranch. The chicken stops for a second only to change direction. It walks straight toward a bush. It can go under the branches, and Penny growls low, "Damn chicken." She follows. Making her way into the bushes, she catches a glimpse of the chicken. The chicken is busy picking at something in the ground, probably a worm. Penny doesn't hesitate and snatches it. The chicken squawks a little, but in surprise. When she holds it gently but firmly in her arms and strokes it, it calms down. Now that the chicken is in her arms, she does not want to let go. Stepping out of the bushes, she accidentally looks at the house and stops mid-step. Her eyes widen. She frowns, and without noticing it, she hugs the chicken closer to her. She walks closer to the house that she's been trying so hard not to look at. Something caught her eye, or rather, someone. There's someone in there. A chill runs down her spine. But the house is empty. It's supposed to be empty. Walt is dead and Melody left. The shadowy figure inside the house turns around. The hair has gotten slightly longer, but other than that, the young woman looks like herself. Their eyes meet, and in surprise, Penny almost lets go of the chicken. The young woman stands still too, but only for a moment. Then she quickly walks out of the room, out of view. Penny stands there, breathing rapidly. If the young woman is here, then her boyfriend and her sister and brother might be there too. Only one thing Penny is sure of. The young woman is in the house that's supposed to be empty. Walt and Melody live there, but it's Kenny's land. It's his and Penny's house. Penny stays low and hurries back to the chicken pen. She heads straight for the field, hoping to spot Kenny. She shades her eyes against the setting fall sun. Blinded by the light, it's hard to see anything. Instead, she takes out the phone from her pocket and calls Kenny. He doesn't answer. Frantic, she heads back to the house. She could confront the young woman on her own, but she doesn't dare to. They have to stand together in this. 'Cause what is she gonna do against the young woman and her boyfriend, who's most certainly also there? She's still pacing back and forth in the hallway when Kenny enters 10 minutes later. "Good, you're home." "Hi, honey. I'm glad to see you too." Penelope shakes her head, deep in thought. Other thoughts. They might have left by now. Frankly, I hope they have, but... She pauses, biting her lip. What is it? What's going on? The young woman is back. The young woman? The girl with the short hair? Yes, Penny nods. I saw her. She's in the house. Kenny's eyes widen. In our house? Penny blinks. Our house? No, not this one. Walt and Melody's house. Kenny nods. He doesn't object to her calling it their former employee's house. Okay, that's unfortunate. Unfortunate? Yes, Kenny nods. If she's in the house, then who knows what she's done. She has to leave. I know, Penny says, but she bites her lip. What if she doesn't want to? Kenny shrugs. Then we might find motivation for her to leave. Motivation? Yeah, Kenny nods, a hard look on his face. My parents didn't leave me this ranch just for me to let strangers squat it. It's mine and I want to protect it. I have to protect it. It's our life. It's our world. If we can't be safe here anymore, we're not safe anywhere. Penny looks thoughtful but nods. I know you want to protect it, but are you really willing to? Yes, Kenny nods. Walt told me the combination to my dad's safe. The gun is only for emergencies, but if this isn't the time, then I don't know what is. The gun? Penelope grimaces and sends him a worried look. Is it really necessary? Maybe it is, maybe it isn't. But I have to protect what's mine. I have to protect you too. If I can't even protect the ranch against a young woman, then what kind of man am I? What kind of rancher am I if I can't scare off a measly woman? Penelope bites her lip and says, what if she's not that measly? And what if she and her boyfriend's got a gun too? Kenny's eyes widen. Is it the boyfriend here too? Penelope shrugs. I am not sure, but I think so. Why else would she be there? I don't think she'd go into a stranger's house on her own. Why not, if she knows it's empty? Penelope frowns. Yeah, I guess she might be bold enough to do something like that. If she and her little boyfriend have been watching us and the others, they know the house is empty. Maybe they saw it as some kind of invitation. Penelope nods. We need to confront them. I agree with you on that, but please don't bring the gun. I don't want to create a problem if there isn't one. Kenny clenches his jaw. I get why you're saying that, but I'm gonna bring it anyway, just in case. I'll show it to them if they don't want to leave. Penelope sends him a skeptical look but doesn't say anything. As Kenny goes to get the gun in the office upstairs, she waits back and forth. Every minute they wait to go over there might be interpreted as acceptance that they're there. When Kenny comes back with the gun, he nods at the door and Penelope walks toward it. Behind her, Kenny hides the gun in the back of his pants. It might not be a big gun, but it's handy, easy to conceal. Walt has a shotgun locked up in a safe over in his and Melody's house. Penelope knows about it too, and as they walk to the house over by the chicken pen, they both hope that the woman or her boyfriend hasn't been able to get the safe open. If they've gotten their hands on the shotgun, when they are about 20 yards from the front door, they stop. Kenny clears his throat. Come out! We know you're in there! Nothing happens. Penelope sends Kenny a nervous glance. Maybe she was wrong. Maybe it was just in her head. It was probably just in her imagination because she badly wants for Walt to not be dead and for Melody to still be there. Maybe this wasn't a good idea. We're just looking like fools, Penny whispers. I don't care, Kenny says. If there's no one in there, which might be the case if you scared her off, then there's no one around to worry about. Who cares if we look like fools if there's just us here? He turns his attention back to the house. We know you're in there. Come on out or we're gonna make you come out. Penelope frowns. An unexpected chill runs down her spine. Kenny can be tough and scary, but she has never seen him like this. How would he force them to come outside? Cut off the power supply? If they do something in the attempt at forcing the young woman to leave, then what stops her from sabotaging their house too? Maybe the young woman will get her payback, if they're the ones who end up having to leave. Penny shudders, trying to shake off the bad thoughts. But then she remembers that Kenny brought the gun. She told him not to, but he did it anyway. If that gun is going to get fired. I saw you, Kenny shouts. Penny flinches. Her eyes dart to the house. No movement. The door doesn't open. Oh, but there, she sees it. The curtain beside the front door moves. Someone is in there, peeking out at them. Penny starts shouting too. Come on out! We're not gonna hurt you. We can at least talk. Finally, the door opens. The young woman steps outside, glancing backward over her shoulder, nervous. She licks her lips, and when she speaks, her voice trembles. Speak? What's there to talk about? The house was empty. Can't we just live here? Kenny shouts a resounding no, and Penny flinches again. She cranes her neck and looks at him. There's determination in his eyes. He stares straight at the house, at the young woman. This is our property. You're trespassing. If the police weren't so busy, I would call them to make them come and remove you. But if I have to, I'll remove you myself. The young woman jerks back slightly. Then a figure steps outside. Her boyfriend. Are you really going to make us leave? If I have to, yes. If you leave right now on your own, then that's it. I won't hurt you. But you'll hurt us if we're not going to leave, the young woman asks. Kenny grimaces for a second and shrugs. I might not hurt you directly, but my gun will. The young woman's eyes widen. Penelope whispers, No, Kenny. Kenny seemingly ignores both women. Hey man, the boyfriend says. She said that we can talk about it, so let's talk about it. We can pay to stay here. What more do you want? I don't want your money, Kenny says bluntly. In this day and age, money isn't really worth as much as it used to be. He pauses slightly, then shakes his head. I don't want money from you. I just want you to leave. Right now, please. Oh, you hear that, babe? He said, please. Then that settles it all, right? The young man scoffs. You come here and threaten us, and we've done nothing to piss you off. Piss me off? Kenny asks. No, not yet. But if you keep this up, I will get pissed. Sorry, dude. I'm just trying to protect my girl and her siblings. Kenny's eyes widen at that. Penny's too. Your brother and sister, they're here too? Yes, the young woman nods. You're not gonna shoot us in front of my sister and brother, are you? Kenny grimaces. He finally puts the gun away. He takes a deep breath. I'm sorry for taking out that thing, but... He pauses, seeming to search for the right words before he goes on. But I just have to protect my land and my animals. You don't need to protect them from us, the young woman says. We mean you no harm. We're just trying to survive, same as you. Penelope frowns, but then glances at Kenny and sends him a small smile. You say that you're not here to hurt anyone, but you still pose a threat. The young man says, A threat? No, we don't. Yes, you do. Kenny's voice is calm and clear as he speaks. You might be infected. If just one of you has the virus, you're dangerous to us. We don't have the virus, the young woman says. At that, her sister and brother step out onto the porch. The little boy nods. It's true, my sister doesn't lie. You're a kind man, the little girl says. You're both kind. You and your dad gave us that medic kit. He wasn't my dad, Kenny replies. He was my employee. He died. He's only been dead for 2 weeks. For all I know, that entire house might be riddled with bacteria. Deadly bacteria. The 4 squatters' eyes widen. Deadly bacteria, the little girl says. Yes, Penelope nods. Walt died from the virus. We haven't set foot in that house since then. Kenny nods beside her and he adds, He wasn't my dad, but he was like a dad to me. Even though I was so close to him, I had to keep him at a distance. And he wasn't a stranger like you. So why do you think I'll let you stay here? Because, the young woman bites her lip, we don't have anywhere else to go. Please, sir, I wouldn't ask if we had any other place to stay. So, Kenny says, you'll rather stay in a virus-filled house than leaving us alone? The young man shrugs. You didn't notice us till today, but we've been here for a week. The young woman sends him a harsh look and nudges him, but he continues. It's probably already too late. If there's bacteria in this house, which you're probably right there is, then we've all been exposed. There's nothing to do about that now. He pauses slightly, and he and his girlfriend exchange a sad glance. The young woman says, We won't be any problem for you. We'll stay away from you, I swear. Kenny crosses his arms. That's all well and good, but how are you going to live in that house and not bother us at all? How are you gonna get by? We were hoping that you'd show a bit more faith and extend a helping hand. Again. This is asking for a lot more than just bandages, Kenny says. I know, the young woman replies. I know, and I'm sorry, but we can't go back to the city. We just can't. We've been living in a nearby shed. I think it's meant for hunters so they can shoot wildlife and sit there waiting, dry from the rain. We've had a roof over our heads since we came out here, but it's too cold now. When I heard people talking about the hearse that drove away from here, and we watched that woman leave too, we figured that this house was empty. I thought that man was your dad and that he died of a heart attack. I'm sorry that he died from the virus, but I'm glad that he wasn't your dad. Don't be glad about that, Kenny snarls. He was like a dad to me. Like I said, he was a friend and employee too, but my real dad died 3 years ago. I'm sorry to hear that, the young woman says, sounding sincere. Penelope catches Kenny's gaze, and with a slight nod and an encouraging smile, Kenny sighs. He nods. All right. I guess it won't hurt any more than it potentially already has. You can stay, all 4 of you, but you need to stay in that house for at least 2 weeks. If you've already gotten the virus, you've got no choice but to ride it out. If you're immune, that's great, but we have to be sure that you're not contagious before we can let you run around out here. The young woman and her boyfriend both nod, and the children just stand there, looking baffled at Kenny and Penelope. There's probably fear in those eyes as well, but at this distance it's too hard to tell. Okay, the young man says, but what are we gonna do? We can't just stay inside all day for 2 weeks. Kenny shrugs. That's just too bad. You're gonna have to. Either that or you have to leave right now. If you can't promise us that you're going to stay in isolation, you have to leave. We can't take the risk that you infect the animals or spread bacteria that we'll get. We've been eating food from the fridge, but that's soon empty. And there's food in the cupboards too, the young woman says. We'll pay for it, don't worry. But what do we do when the food runs out? If I can't leave to go shopping, then don't worry about food, Penelope says. We've got you. If you need anything, call us on the landline. The phone number to our house should be at the phone in there with you. Don't come to us, we'll come to you. Kenny makes a disgruntled noise beside her, but she ignores it. Do you really mean that? The young woman asks. Yes. Penelope steps forward slightly. We mean it. Kenny isn't as scary as he seems. He's got a good heart. He's just trying to protect the ranch. I know, the young woman says with a nod. I get it. We're the same way. The young man nods and pulls his girlfriend close as he ruffles up her sibling's hair. We have to help one another. Otherwise, what's the point? If I hadn't met Charlotte, I'd be fucked. Yes, the young woman says. You probably wouldn't have lasted a week. Without each other, the little girl says, we would all be fucked. She chuckles a little as she says that word. Penelope smiles at her. Seems like the girl is a bit excited about being able to swear now that no one is correcting her. Sadly, that means that her sister and her sister's boyfriend have been pushed so far that they don't care about things like that anymore. The 3 siblings have probably lost their parents, but Penelope tries not to think about that fact. It only reminds her of her own parents. She really should call them. Yes, Kenny says after a moment of silence, I guess that's true. we would all be screwed. I'm just glad that it's still possible to get stuff delivered. Penelope swallows hard. If the virus keeps spreading and a lot more people die, then things will go haywire. If there's not enough people to make the world go round anymore, then what will they do? They can get by on their own, probably not forever, but for a long time, but other people don't have that luxury. They risk getting overrun by people who are just trying to survive. She shudders, shaking off the bad thoughts. Speaking of deliveries, Penny says, changing the subject before her thoughts get too dark. If you need anything, just call us. If Kenny is too busy, I won't be. We've got things to do every day, but if you call us early evening, we'll be in to answer the call and I'll come over with whatever you need. Thank you, the young woman, Charlotte, says. We won't bother you unless it's really necessary, and we'll stay inside the house. That's good to hear, Kenny says, but I won't believe it unless you prove it. If I catch just one of you outside, the deal is off. Understood? Understood? The young man nods. I know you're just doing what you feel like you need to be doing. Trust me, I'd probably do the same thing. But once this is over, we'll find somewhere else to be. Once it is safe. Kenny nods. Good. That's probably for the best. Yes, Penny agrees. But for now, let's just be grateful that we're all still here. Okay? Remember the deal. Stay inside and call us if you need anything. I'll come over and put it on the ground where you can see it from that window. I'll also make sure to holler at you when I've gotten you what you need. And what if there's something we need but that you don't have? The young man says. And what should that be? The young man smirks. What about condoms? It's important to keep staying safe in that regard too, right? Kenny frowns but then smiles and nods. I guess so. Don't worry, Penelope says. We've got some of those too. We can spare some. Some? Kenny sends Penelope a skeptical look. Don't give all of them away, Pen. Penelope shrugs. In a low voice she says, I was thinking that maybe we should stop using them. I'm safe and you're safe. If we want to become a family, then we don't need all those condoms. Kenny stares at her wide-eyed. Are you saying that you want to... Yes. And when do you suggest we start? Penelope shrugs. I'm up for it whenever you're ready. Kenny turns partly away from the house and the four strangers. In that moment, all he can focus on is her, and Penelope loves it. She savors the moment as he pulls her into him and kisses her warm and deep. The young man says, if you don't mind, there are kids here. Penelope can't help but overhear Charlotte's reply. Don't bother them, Ryan. We promised that we wouldn't bother them or get in their way. The guy, Ryan, shuts up. As Kenny kisses her again and again, she lets herself get swept away. She hardly notices it when Ryan, Charlotte and her siblings retreat back into the house and close the door. Well, that was chapter 5. I talked about this thing about the personal protection when I talked about the novel as I actually wrote it. But now that I'm reading it aloud, I have to write what I actually wrote, and now it's clear to you what I was talking about. I guess it was clear to you anyway, but I hope that talking about things like this and a few swear words are not things that will put you off and make you not want to hear the rest of the story. As far as I know, the story is suitable for a wide audience, maybe not kids and teens. I don't know, but it should be appropriate for most people. So I hope you will continue hearing this story and enjoying it. But that's it for now. I hope you enjoyed this part of the story, and I hope you will watch the next video or listen to the next video where I read chapter 6 out loud. But that's it for now. Until next time, take care. Thank you for watching.